welcome back to my channel and another video in the Our Ramadan series. We are getting super close to Ramadan now. Inshallah, we all make it to Ramadan and we all have a wonderful and blessed month, inshallah. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about meal planning and meal prepping for Ramadan. I do want to say before I go into the video that there's only 4 of us in the household. We don't eat any differently in Ramadan than we do just the rest of the year, except that we really sort of up our water intake through like fruit as well and vegetables and things like that. So we will consume a lot of watermelon and cucumbers and things like that basically during the month, but other than that we don't do anything special. So there's not a lot of like prepping food and freezing it, you know, fried items and things like that. We did that a long time ago and we don't do that anymore. So there's not a lot that I've got to do to prep food for Ramadan per se. So I wanted to share that with some of you who may kind of be in a similar boat and may not need to do that kind of prep, but also want to do some prep so that there's a little bit of ease during Ramadan. So there's 4 of us in the household. I've got 2 children that are under the age of 5. They're 3 and 4. So again, I'm not cooking for children that are fasting. So bear that in mind when you are watching this video. There's 2 of us that are fasting, obviously. Again, we eat the way that we usually eat because again, the kids go to bed at about 7:30, so dinner needs to be ready at 6, irrespective of whether our iftar is well later in the day. So food will be ready early on in the day anyway. The approach that I've taken this year is very similar to what I did last year, except last year I used an ebook that kind of took you through daily meals and grocery lists and gave you sort of all of those tools that you needed to kind of really not think about food or prepping for food or anything like that for the whole of Ramadan. And it was really brilliant, but I learned so much from that, and I've learned so much from a fitness challenge that I've just come out of, that I kind of feel equipped to just do it on my own this year. So I just wanted to take you through very quickly what I do regular meal planning anyway. I use my meal planning binder, and I will leave a link to how I put this together. There's also free printables along with it. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below so that you can look at it. It basically just has tabs along the side and a what have we got laminated sheet on the inside so that I can write down what we've actually got in the fridge, in the cupboards, and that I'm able to kind of work from this list instead of shopping when there's food already in the house. What I've done as far as meal prepping for Ramadan goes is to write down everything that I am thinking of for suhoor and iftar in this book, as well as snack ideas and, you know, things that require me to do some work. And then I've also made sure that I have the recipes for things that I don't make very frequently or recipes that I want to be able to refer to, printed out and in the binder. That way I'm not looking for things and printing things during the day. It just makes it a lot easier. It's a few minutes really, but it can save you a lot of wasted time kind of looking for things back and forth. So as far as you know, writing down the things that we're going to be eating goes, it's really helpful to kind of make a note of things that I want to have for suhoor and things that I want to have for iftar and ways that I can kind of make this a bit easier. So for example, say I'm having sweet potato hash with eggs for suhoor. I know that I can grate the sweet potato a day or 2 before and then put it in a glass container, and it will stay in the fridge for at least 3 days or so, assuming your fridge is at a good temperature. So I don't have to keep doing that over and over again. Even things like overnight oats, you are able to put those into a jar, and you can have quite a few jars to last you the week. So that suhoor is fairly quick and easy to access. So that kind of takes away that element of thinking, oh, you know, I'm so late for suhoor anyway, I'm just going to drink some water and have some dates. You actually have a substantial meal, which is really, really important. A couple of other things that I have done, I've frozen some smoothie bags, so they're already in the fridge. I can just take them out and blend them. No, my children don't really wake up to the noise of that. I just make sure I kind of shut doors as much as I can, but nobody really wakes up, so I can run the smoothie maker in the middle of the night. Also thinking about other things like really healthy muffins. There's a really, really great recipe for some pumpkin oat chocolate chip muffins that are really good as like a kind of, if you're having sweet cravings, but very, very healthy for you as well. I've prepped some of those, and some are in my fridge, some are in the freezer. Things like trail mix for snacks between iftar and when you have suhoor as well. I always try to keep on top of having some boiled eggs in the fridge. The kids love it as a snack as well, and it's really handy for us to kind of grab. You could top a salad with it, put it on toast, whatever you need to. If it's done, you know, you're a lot more likely to kind of reach for healthier options. And I use my Instant Pot to kind of do all of the eggs at once, so that makes it really, really easy. For dinner options, a lot of what we've gone for is kind of salads, but substantial salads. So like lentil salads, quinoa based salads, salads that have got like brown rice in them, things like that, along with grilled meats. So, you know, grilled chicken, roasted chicken, baked fish, that sort of thing, you know, meat on skewers, that kind of thing. So we have a substantial salad along with the protein. So we're not going too carb heavy, and, you know, because that makes us feel quite tired and bloated and just uncomfortable. But at the same time, we're not, you know, depriving ourselves or anything like that. We're just being a little more conscious of what we eat, because we're fasting for a majority of the day. The actual hours in the day that we are eating are very, very small. We're in the UK, so hours are very, very long. Another thing that I wanted to recommend, if you're looking for inspiration on meal ideas, and if you're looking for inspiration on kind of just generally keeping fit and healthy throughout Ramadan, check out Zahra Alibai's Ramadan guide, which is a free ebook. I will link it in the description box below. I will also link the ebook that I purchased last year, of which I believe it's 20% or maybe 25, I'm not quite sure, of the proceeds go to Islamic Relief Canada, and that is an ebook written by Nutrition by Nazima and Chelsea from Wellness Muslima. And the ebook last year was extremely exhaustive. I mean, it gave you snack ideas, it gave you a week by week, you know, recipe guide for every single day, a shopping list, everything. So if you really do not have the time and you don't want to think about anything at all, they have a new one out this year, and that might be the way to go. It's not very expensive either. I will leave a link to their recipe book in the description box below. I also have a 30-day 30 salads ebook that I purchased from Healthy Muslima a little while ago, and I'm using some of her recipes within our planning as well. So try and see if you've ever kind of downloaded ebooks before or looked at people's websites and kind of thought, oh, they have a really good amount of recipes or some really great healthy recipes that we'd like to use. Go back and look for those files on your computer and make use of those files, especially when you're planning your meals this Ramadan. Another thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about is fitness during Ramadan. I wasn't going to talk about this because I'm one of the last people that you'd ask about exercising during Ramadan, but like I said, I've just come out of a fitness challenge with Zahra Alibai, and I'm planning to continue our workouts throughout Ramadan. Her Ramadan guide gives you a really good kind of breakdown into what you can do and during Ramadan, examples for exercises, and she also recommends the best times to exercise, and then you can kind of see what works for you. So for me, I am planning to either I'm going to see how it works, but I'm going to do half of her workouts from the 6-week challenge that we've just come out of. Those challenges were about 30 minutes long, between 25 and 35 minutes long every day for 6 weeks. So I'm going to kind of half the I'm gonna just cut the workout in half and do it for about 12 minutes. They're quite high intensity, so I'm gonna do them for about 12 to 13 minutes and then just stop and continue the other half the next day. So, you know, just see what works for you. I also use a really great app called 8Fit. If you've been following me for a while on Instagram, you'll have seen me mention this before. They have shorter workouts, and it's a really, really handy app. They give you recipe ideas, you know, they will give you exercises based on kind of what you enjoy as well. And it's just one of those things you just have on your phone, you press start, you know, you prop it up on a table somewhere, you just follow the exercises, and it's about between 7 to 12 minutes and you're done. So that's really, really easy to do at home as well. There's absolutely no need for us to be super sedentary during Ramadan. Ramadan is not just about nurturing the spiritual side, but also, you know, taking care of your body as well, and exercising and keeping fit throughout Ramadan is one way to do that. It doesn't have to be that you compromise on the spirituality of the month just because you take 15 minutes to 30 minutes to do some exercise. So I hope some of you will consider doing that this month, inshallah, and I will leave the information for 8Fit and for Zahra's workouts in the description box below as well. One of the things that you might find helpful to do if you use a lot of onions and tomatoes as a base for a lot of your cooking is to make an onion tomato masala in bulk and then put some of that in your fridge and freeze the rest of it. I do this in bulk every so often. I think I do this about, I would say about maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I would do a large, like a really large pot full, and then it just lasts me for ages, and it cuts down the time on anything. I mean, even if you're just stir frying some prawns in sauce, or, you know, cooking some fish in sauce, or just anything, putting some chicken in a sauce, adding some coconut milk, it makes like a whole meal and you've done nothing. You have the base sauce, and all you have to do is add some spices to it, some meat if you want meat, or vegetables, and then, you know, you're done. It's so simple. I will leave a link to how I make my onion tomato masala in the description box below, so that you can check it out in case that helps you this month as well. I hope you found some of this really useful. This video is in collaboration with Nusayba's Food. I absolutely love her blog and her website. I've been following her on Instagram for ages. She has a YouTube channel as well, and she shares some really, really interesting recipes. Some of them are really easy to do. Some of them are a little more elaborate, but they just look and they taste amazing. I'm going to leave her links in the description box below. She's also done a similar post around preparing for Ramadan. Please make sure you check out her blog post as well. I will leave it linked in the description box below. Once again, thank you so much for joining me and for all the love that you've all shown me throughout this series. It has been really, really, you know, it has been a lot of work putting it all together, I won't lie, but it has been so good for us because it's motivated me to kind of get things done really quickly as well, in order to share it with you guys. And it's also just been so nice to kind of share it with you guys and see you guys putting a lot of the tips and things like that into work in your own homes and sharing that with me. I've really, really enjoyed seeing it. We've got a few more posts to go before the Our Ramadan series comes to a close, before Ramadan obviously, but I will still be posting on Instagram to share what we get up to every day, especially with our good deed calendar. So inshallah, if you'd like to follow along, I'll leave my Instagram handle here below for you. Until my next video, inshallah, assalamu alaikum.